It's the Solo One Sci-Fi Podcast.
Hello, this is episode 164 of the Solo One Sci-Fi Podcast. I'm Michael Ball. I'm back, as usual, with my colleague who knows so much about sci-fi. He's been talking to me about all sorts of interesting things before we've hit record, which I can't really share, but they were very, very amusing. And he's also here to talk about, we're going to be talking about a film which features a lot of Northerners in a slightly unflattering light. And this is something we've been thinking about talking about for ages. It's going to be interesting, but it should be good. So, Martin Fowler, hello, Martin. How are you?
I'm good, my friend. How are you?
Yeah, all right. We sorry last week we couldn't make it. We always have work commitments. We do try to fit it around, but sometimes we just can't do it. And unfortunately, Martin could have recorded on Thursday, but that's the day I release it. So it's sometimes just nice to have a week off and sort of recharge our batteries because, but it is good that we're back anyway because a lot of stuff news-wise has been coming since we were last on air or streaming, whatever you want to term it as being. I want to talk to you about all sorts of things.
Working.
Solar Sci-Fi
News.
So, Martin, where do you want to start news-wise? What is it that you've heard that's really exciting you about what's coming up?
Well, at first I was browsing the internet on my phone, watching TV, and I was watching Boone actually.
I've never seen Boone. Is that Michael Elphick, isn't it?
Yeah. I picked
Is it good? Is it good?
Yeah, no, I walked past the charity shop, paid about £1 for it, so...
Yeah, I could just see bits of it because that filter's coming
yeah,
up.
so
Yeah.
I've not seen that in years, so...
Okay.
And YouTube had removed all the episodes.
Oh, they would, wouldn't they?
Yeah.
And you were
started watching it,
right?
And I thought, it were there.
Okay.
Planet of the Apes.
I know.
New trailer. I was like, what?
So I didn't know anything about this because I did like the three. I suppose they're remakes, aren't they? But they are remakes, really.
It's set in an alternative.
All right, okay. So it's like a remake. It's a bit like the 2009 Star Trek sort of thing. Although it's not an alternative. Yeah, whatever. And I thought,
well, it is because when Taylor broke the photon light barrier, it created an nexus through loads of timelines. So there's loads.
So that's what. Yeah. Okay.
And that's me. I made that up. I'm right proud of
That's
that.
all right. That's okay. I actually believed you as well. So it sounds pretty credible to me. So I thought I'd give them a rewatch anyway, and I really, really enjoyed them. And this is because of a new movie, Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes, which is actually set. From what I gather from the actual trailer, it's set. It must be at least a generation beyond Caesar's era.
It's a couple of 100 years.
It's actually that far ahead because it's not as far ahead as the Taylor. The original movies were set about 2,000 years ahead, weren't they?
Yeah.
But what I liked about the movies, because I'd forgotten about this, is that humans at the end of the third one were starting to, in some ways, de-evolve. The disease that broke out, obviously it caused apes to be more intelligent and also be able to learn to speak and become, creative. But at this point, at the end of the third one, humans were starting to not be able to talk, which was very, very clever. Because I'd forgotten about that of course, to sort of like parallel the original movies where apes can talk and humans can't, it was going along that path, which I thought was fascinating. So in this new trailer, we saw another chimpanzee who I assume is related to Caesar, like 200 years in the future, and we see some primitive humans who, what I can see, can't talk. They're looking around sort of like rubble and sort of like cities which are covered in plants, and I don't know what it's going to be exactly about, but I just thought it sounded really interesting. It sounded great. I just really excited that.
It opened a lot of possibilities up, I thought. I mean, it was like they discovered electricity because they were poking that gorilla.
Yep.
They were poking people, and it was like one of the apes says to chimpanzee, says, "You don't know what was here before."
That's right.
And so it could be much further along in the future. But from what we see is, I think it's like a guerrilla dictator.
Well, although we
Like a
saw this
ruler.
trailer, but we didn't actually see a lot about what this will actually be. It was
Yeah, but
more. Go on.
my view of it, that there's some kind of guerrilla dictator and the rest of the apes are there. But
Which was a
then
bit
we
like
saw-
the original movies had that. They had dictators in the original one as well.
Yeah, and they're obsessed. They seem to be obsessed in trying to open this bunker.
With some stuff down there which they don't know what it
There's
is. Or
human technology in there.
Yeah,
There's
yeah,
something.
yeah.
But they've discovered electricity. Very
Okay.
primitive.
Right.
Because it's like they're mind blown by it. But I was impressed. I cannot wait to see this.
Everyone's
I thought-
saying. Everyone's saying that it's going to the end of the film will feature a ship like Taylor's ship crash landing, and it's going to go full circle. But it can't do that because it's too early. It can't do that unless it's the TV. Now the TV series. How far ahead was the TV series when they crashed in the future?
Well, they went. Well,
They were-
because I bought the two books which are canon.
That's
These
right.
are
you
the
talked about
two
it before.
books that explain how they got the other ship. Somebody from Blam, from some company called Blam, that did two books. I assume that the astronaut's going to turn up at the end of this film.
That's what I'm wondering.
And now I think it is a lot further along in the future, because that ape said to the young chimpanzee, "You don't know what was here before."
Yeah, and people are guessing as to how far in the future the new movie is going to be compared to the first three. So we don't know. We don't know how far ahead it is.
But the TV series, I think it was a few hundred years before. It might have been a fact.
Yeah, I know. I know it was before.
But
yeah.
in the book, Taylor knows further than Burke. He knows them. They're at the same man's
Oh, okay.
space thing, yeah. So unless when they set off, they went into another timeline.
I love it. I don't have no idea.
The TV series.
Yeah.
The humans could talk. Well, they were more advanced. Well, they,
No,
they
I just think
knew
it's
the
great.
basics, didn't they?
But it's just that I thought the three movies that we've already had, I thought they were supposed to be part of a trilogy, and the trilogy's done. So I don't know why
That's
this
what I
fourth
thought.
one's coming. I don't know where this
And
suddenly come from.
I don't know, because when I saw that with him from Cheers, which we've both seen,
Woody Harrelson, yeah.
I know, I thought we'd covered that. We've done the originals.
No, we've never done one of the new ones. Never done the new ones.
Right, but we have done the full 5 originals.
No, we've only done the first 2.
Really?
Really?
I thought we did. Right.
No.
Right, fair enough. But I thought that one with Woody, is it Woody Harrelson?
Woody Harrelson, yeah. Yep.
I thought that was the final film, but that human race finally starts dying out. Then the balance of power shifts.
That was it. And
Caesar
Caesar
died at
dies.
the end
That was
of
it.
the film,
Caesar's
yeah.
dead. Caesar's
And that
dead.
was it.
That was the end of it. That was we know where it's going to go. So
It leaves you to your imagination. So if there was going to be a new trilogy, it would have been the astronaut from the first one coming back 1,000 years in the future or whatever. Because it's reported in the first film he's lost in space.
that's right.
And the ship's called Liberty One or Icarus or whatever.
I can
So-
so,
Yeah, but that's the name of the ship from the original movie.
Right.
And then suddenly last week when I sent you the thing, I couldn't believe it just been released. Planet of the Apes, The Lost Kingdom. It was like, you what? What? There's another bloody movie. They kept so quiet about it. There's been nothing over the last 3 years.
No. It's and the other one, the other trailer we got as well this week was Ghostbusters. Is it called Frozen Empire? I think it's called.
Frozen Empire, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, I'm up for that as well.
Yeah, I was like, because like last week, like week before, there were nothing really to go on about, and then
No.
Frozen Empire popped up,
Yeah.
and I thought, and there's no release dates to be confirmed.
Summer next year, I think it is. Summer 20,
Oh, is it
2024,
summer
yeah.
next year?
Yeah, I think
Right.
so, yeah.
And that's it. And then I found out this week. That's why I told you. I didn't even know For All Mankind had started.
Yeah, and I said to you that I'm going to wait a couple of weeks
Yeah,
until get a few episodes
You do
up.
right.
and then I think I'm gonna do that because I still haven't seen the end of Foundation season 2. I just watched them once a week. It wasn't enough to keep me going. I need to sit down one weekend and watch the other half. I've seen the first half, and I know you said the second half's better, and I will do that, and then we'll review it. But I just haven't got around to it. But I do want to do that. But I'll do the same For All Mankind. I think I want to.
You say like For All Mankind. I can't watch that weekly. I just
I don't know why, but it's certain shows. It's better to wait and then watch them all in one go. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know why, but it
so
just is.
I'll wait the 10 weeks. I did watch on Sunday. I watched Loki. I've seen season 2.
Now I have heard. I've not seen it. And Marvel's in a big bad situation with this new Marvel has come out. That's completely fucked now. But I've heard that Loki season 2 was pretty good, especially the second half.
I watched it Sunday night.
I heard it was good. I heard it was all right. So I might give it a go now because I heard it's all right.
I sat there and thought, really? I don't think there's any more. That's it. So they finished it.
No, yeah, but it apparently it ended on quite.
The payoff is beautiful.
After that one with Samuel L. Jackson, that last one, which No, but the thing is, right? No, I mean, you got me into the Marvel stuff, right? I loved WandaVision. I liked Loki. I wasn't so bothered about I hated She-Hulk, and that's what put me off. And then, of course, I never watched the Samuel L. Jackson one because of that. I will watch something if it's got some relatively good reviews of it. If it's panned, I'm not going to bother. Now Loki's got a good review, I'll probably check it out.
No, I was very impressed with Loki. I don't know if I should be saying this, but I did watch the Marvels.
Oh, okay. And so, is it as bad as... Because it has completely flopped.
It appeared by magic, you know.
I knew that. I wasn't going to dwell on that. Okay, it appeared. So you watched it.
It was just there. I turned the telly on. It was there.
All right. It's Paul Daniels' TV time, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, the magic thing.
I watched it. It was the one. It was the copy where you sit in the cinema.
And someone's head goes.
Yeah. I call that. You're getting the full cinema experience.
Yeah,
well, you are really.
All you need is the sound of someone crunching and eating crisps next to you and stuff like that as well. You have the sound effects.
Look, I'm not gonna shit on the film. I quite. It was like it's all right for a Sunday night. I didn't mind it. It had its moments.
So
they could have done better.
Why did it flop? Is it franchise fatigue? Is it superhero fatigue?
I don't know. But yet again, what they did with Loki were absolutely superb.
Yeah.
And why they can't do that with the films, I think it could be. I think they're lost now because when they started the first Avengers movie and all the big heroes, they've done all the big.
I wonder if it's franchise fatigue. Oversaturation?
Well, it could be. The twist at the ending was, well, you know when you get that moment at the end of a Marvel movie, after the credits?
Yeah.
You know when you sit through credits?
And you get the post-credit scene.
For the next film or something.
Or something.
Well, they showed that. And I sat there. Normally, when you first started watching this years ago, it were exciting. But when I found out,
it's not the same now, is it? It's not quite the same now, is it?
Well, no, because you saw how it well, like you got a scene where one of the superheroes, when she saved the universe and got transported to a parallel, she ended up in the X-Men's mansion with Kelsey Grammer as the Beast.
Kelsey Grammer?
Yeah, Kelsey Grammer as the Beast.
What?
Yeah.
Frasier as the Beast?
Yeah, it's the Beast. Yeah,
no.
And she's in the X-Men's medical unit, and it's like, well,
doesn't sound good. I don't know. I'm a big Kelsey Grammer fan. I'm a big Frasier fan.
At one time, you would have jumped at that of excitement. Do you know what I mean?
And now it's like, what?
Yeah. Is that it? Yeah, all right. Yeah, I'm just not bothered. But say like you'd have seen that 10 years ago, you might have been, oh, that's amazing. Do you know what I mean? But when it happened, like, is that it? You know.
The thing is, you see, I mean, I'm. It's funny because obviously I'm a big Star Trek fan and I'm a big Star Wars fan, and at the moment, you know, I'm not interested in the animated stuff. I'm sorry. I know, like Jay and Star Trek and a lot of other people, they're big fans of the animated stuff. I just don't click with them. I've seen most of. I think they're well made. I like comedy, but I just don't. I don't know why. Even I even posted this to Trekcast, and they were saying, "Look, why do you not appreciate it? It is Star Trek. It's not Star Trek to me. It's a cartoon." I know it sounds weird and a bit close-minded, but I like live action. I
tried Below Decks and just kept thinking Simpsons.
Yeah, they even look at the round eyes. I can't help it. You know, it's good. It does. You know, it's got good continuity. It's got some funny storylines, but for some reason, I have to force myself to watch it. I don't think, oh, it's episode 8 of season 4 coming out tonight. Like I would with, like, you know, the Picard season 3 or Strange. I just don't get that buzz of excitement. I don't know why. I just don't. Same with Star Wars. Rebels and Clone Wars are very well made. I've seen them all, but I woun't particularly want to see them again. I just don't.
Well, I tried Bad Batch and I just got bored of it.
Oh, I know, a Bad Batch. Yeah, I know. That was after Clone Wars. I couldn't get on with that. I gave up on that myself. I didn't finish that one either. So maybe it's because I'm 51 nearly. So maybe it's an age thing. I don't know. I don't know. I don't watch cartoons. I used to like the old Pink Panther cartoons in the 70s and 80s. And they used to be on all the time on the BBC. I used to love those. And Ulysses 31, that was good as well. That was.
I like. I watch. If I see Wile E. Coyote, I will.
Yeah, some of those. I will watch those. Admittedly, I will watch those. Yeah. But I don't want to see Star Trek Simpsons. I'm sorry. It's just not. It doesn't fit for me. I don't know why. It just doesn't quite work. I did
post it. There was a poster on Facebook. Vader the series next year.
Vader the series.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean, let's talk about because obviously the writer's strike is now finished. So it's all gearing up now. Star Trek: Strange New Worlds, from what I've heard, they're going to start production of season 3. I think it's on the 14th of December or 11th of December. Very, very soon. They're literally going to come back. And everybody's thinking they're going to wait till after Christmas. They actually want to get going kind of thing, which is brilliant news. And so, how do you feel about the writer's strike being over? You must be delighted, because I certainly am.
No, I am, because the stuff they've held back, they're going to start showing it next year, aren't they?
Yeah.
And then when that finishes, the new stuff comes in.
So next year, for the live action stuff, which I'm going to be watching, obviously it'll be Star Trek Discovery. Season 5. No, season. What is it? Discovery? Is it season 5 or season 6? Season 5. It's season 5. Yeah, it's season 5. Enterprise sort of thing. And I'm not that excited about that after what they've done, but it's the end of the show, so I'm interested to see how it ends. That's the only live action Star Trek. They might get Strange New Worlds season 3 out by the end of the year, but apparently it takes 15 months. Full circle to do a whole season, from filming to editing to sound mixing to the end. But they might have been able to work on some of that during the strikes.
Well, that's what I thought. Yeah.
So it might put them ahead. And it's also, if they're already starting filming this year with only a month or a few weeks until the end of the year, that strikes me as that they really want to get going and get some stuff produced and out there. Because they're going to have a big gap. They're going to have a big gap otherwise. I mean, I reckon Discovery. I mean, Discovery's supposed to be put on early 2024. I reckon it'll be put back a little bit to about March, April time. That's what I think.
I thought that'd be out in January.
Yeah, I did too, but they're going to have a big gap otherwise. If it finishes in like the end of March or something, they won't have anything until the end of the year live action apart from the cartoons. Even the Prodigy won't be on. That's going to Netflix, I think it is. So even that won't be on Paramount Plus. And Paramount Plus, for some reason, they sold off Prodigy, which is daft, but they did. So they're going to have one less series to show on their network, aren't they?
Well, I saw one when I was switching on. Sidetrack popped up, and I missed the video, but it's something about Babylon 5 coming back and going Netflix.
I've not checked that one out. I know they made the animated Babylon 5 thing recently. I've not seen that either.
I bought it. It's all.
Yeah, but again, it's animated, so I'm gonna be less than.
Could take it all. When I watched it, I was expecting something, but I could take it or leave it. You know,
Hopefully, I mean, and obviously Star Wars as well will have the Acolyte next year, which looks interesting. Again, after Andor, I'm a bit cautious about non-Dave Filoni Star Wars things. I loved Ahsoka. I liked Boba Fett. Mandalorian are great, and also I liked Obi-Wan.
Oh, he's not coming back for season 4.
Who's not?
Pedro Pascal.
Yeah, but he'll just voice it. He'll just do the voicing again. No,
I don't think he's even doing that either.
Oh no, he'll do that.
He's got other commitments.
Yeah, but all he's got to do is record the dialogue and then just have a stunt double. No, he'll be back for season 4. I'm not worried about that.
Well, I hope so.
But he's on The Last of Us, which is good. Last of Us is good.
There is one more thing.
Go on.
You know that Terminator's going to Netflix as an animated series.
Another animated series, yeah.
You know, I think there's a trailer up for it. I've not seen it. I've read the article. I've watched some. There is a Terminator series coming to Netflix animated.
Well, if it was live action, I'd be interested. But if it's animated, I mean, you know, why can't they just make it live action? I'm sick and tired of all these animated series. I want to see live action. I'm old. I'm 51. I'm sorry. I can't watch fucking cartoons. All right. You know what I mean? I'm sorry, but it's just not the same. It's not the same.
No, I know.
I don't know.
And I want it set in the future this time. I don't want it where someone comes back and then it's sick of all that.
Yeah, that's another franchise which has burnt itself out with Overkill.
Yeah.
It oversaturates with those movies and alternate timelines and all this sort of stuff. And I'm still very fond of the Terminator films. And I like the Sarah Connor Chronicles as well, which is really kicking into gear, and they fucking well cancelled it. I don't know. It's all right. We've got a few things next year to watch. I want to see Dune 2 or Dune Part 2. That'd be good. That's out next year. But yeah. Right, we're nearly out of time before we had to sort of like reset our Zoom. So, any last things before we finish off and go into?
No, that's it. I will see you in 5 minutes.
Okay, we'll be right back with the review of the week, and it's going to feature lots of angry northern men, and I can't wait to talk about this with Martin.
Lots of.
It's the
Solar Sci-Fi
focus of the week.
All right, so we are talking about a film which I think was made about 1993. I should check my details before actually coming on. It's a film which is a second sequel to a very classic movie from 1979. It actually has Sigourney Weaver in it. It has lots of northern individuals as well, and including Charles Dance, loads of people. And that is, of course, Alien 3. And I'm amazed that we're actually reviewing this film. But Martin, tell me what you think about Alien 3 from your perspective as a northern man.
Well, firstly, I've seen Charles Dance. He actually lives down where I live.
I've seen Charles Dance as well.
Oh.
He used to film in Surrey County Council. We had County Hall in Kingston upon Thames, and they had the courts. And I saw him filming some stuff out there. So I have seen him in the flesh, which is nice.
Okay, right, all right. On to the big subject. Can't get out of it that way. Well, I find the film insulting.
Okay.
It made people like me look bad. I mean, come on, right? Let's get into nuts and crannies of this, right? They made a whole film, right, where I went to the cinema to see this, and I sat there, and I have to say, it's the worst Aliens movie out of the whole fucking lot of them. Why? I'm not going to tell you why.
Yeah, please do.
Crashes on a prison planet, and every prisoner on that planet is a northerner. Do you know what I mean? And so you think about it, as a global audience, they probably stereotyped every northerner in the world to that fucking film. Why is it? And in the entire universe, the galaxy, there's a planet full of northerners that are in prison. Even fucking Doctor Who has never come across that.
Well, Paul McGann was in it, wasn't he? Paul McGann
well, he's
was
a northerner.
Yeah. I mean, I'm looking at the cast now, and let's have a look. So, obviously, let's get some perspective. We have American actors. We have Sigourney Weaver. We have Charles S. Dutton. They're both American actors. And then we have Charles Dance, who's obviously British, but he's not a northern lad. And we also have Lance Henriksen, obviously, is an American actor as well. Or he's American, unless he's wrong about that. The British actors from the northern areas are Pete Postlethwaite, who's very northern.
Yeah.
Brian Glover, who's a northerner.
Don't go there. Do not go there.
And I like Brian Glover. He's great. He's a good actor. He's been in Doctor Who, American Werewolf, London. He's a good actor. And Danny Webb as well. He's another northern accent. And I think
and then everybody else. Yeah, but they were all northerners. Don't try and, even extras, they were all northerners.
Christopher Fairbank was in it, of course, and he was
he's
Moxie.
A bloody northerner.
Yeah, he was. Who else is there? And a lot of these actors I don't recognise as being northern, but yeah, there's a lot of northerners in this movie. So let's ask first of all, why do you think in this movie franchise, and they made two fantastic movies, the first two were very different from one another, but they were considered as real sci-fi gems, masterpieces in their own respective rights. They're very different from one another. So why is it that Alien 3 went this direction where it completely lost the... I mean, I personally, before you answer the question I've asked you, I will say that I think it's David Fincher who did it. He was trying to give it a different spin, but the way that he did it, to me, didn't make much sense because it sort of showed us a group of mostly unlikable characters who most people wouldn't give a shit if they all died anyway.
Be careful now.
No, wherever they're from, not necessarily from Yorkshire or Leeds.
We stop it now.
All right, so let me get you to answer the question. Why do you think they went this direction? What do you think it was all about?
What if they'd have all come from Portsmouth?
I wouldn't have given a shit. They could have all been blown up as far as I was concerned. If I remember, I'll put a big explosion in front of my face. Go on. Yeah, go on.
Well, on a serious note, I went to see this. I was so excited about it, after the second one.
Yeah, of course.
Because this came out a good few years later.
It was about 7 years, I think it was. Something about 7 years.
Yeah, quite a few years, wasn't it?
It was a few years, yeah.
And it got a lot of coverage in SFX magazine, and it was set on this prison planet, and it all sort of thought that's different. But when we got there, well, like an hybrid of taking elements of the first one, added a bit of the second, and then let's put a load of northerners in there, and one posh.
Why do you make it so funny with the way you put it that way?
No, but it's true, isn't it? The Charles Dance, who's the posh dude, shoved him in there, right? And then Lance Henriksen turns up with some corporate marines.
He was the link between Aliens and the third one, wasn't he? Because obviously he was Bishop.
But they dropped Michael Bay, which
he was killed. So was Newt, although Newt was annoying.
I mean, it never fucking explained how did they get on board. Do you know what I mean?
Because when we have a scene where Bishop, the android, is in the third one as well, and Ripley says, was there an alien on board the shuttlecraft? I think, or was it the Sulaco? I can't remember which, the Sulaco. And he said yes, but how did the alien get on board?
So two eggs got dropped, legs popped out, they carried eggs over to the new 10 decks up, let's go to suspended animation thing.
Yeah.
Just happened to find it.
And they found Ripley's one, didn't they? And it's like, then there was some weird kind of error, and the ship decides to crash land. and using the escape pod to get to. It was the actual reasoning for her to end up on Fury 131 or whatever it's called.
Yeah,
Did seem a bit
Yorkshire.
Yorkshire 131.
It's-
Why it was a bit convoluted.
I mean, the point is, apparently, Burke would have been the suspect, but he got eaten, didn't he? You know, because when she said to him, "You don't see them fucking each other over for a percentage."
Yeah, that's right.
You know what I mean? So how did them two eggs? I mean, I get it if the female one cracks one out. Actually, no. Actually, there could
But
be
she
an
should have
answer.
done. It's only the
Actually,
Queen's.
I might have just
Go on,
locked
okay,
myself
okay.
into a corner
Go on.
because when she shot the Queen out of the airlock, when they were fighting, maybe it shit so out, and they bounced off them.
And then it was like a ram scoop or something, like on Star Trek, and sucked in the eggs
No. When they were having the fight, when she were in power loader,
Yeah, she was flying. Yeah, they flew into space.
throwing it about. Well, maybe it fired one out of its ass and egg, right?
But how did it get back on the ship then?
Well, no, when it were on ship, maybe Alien Queen shit one out and it bounced into a corner. And then when they all went to sleep, it woke up, they started creeping around ship. But that gets undone because if that got inside her, right, that means it would have had to have melted acid through the suspended animation thing to get inside to go on her face.
Well, no, we did see some early bits of the movie where we saw acid drops going along in the Sulaco near Ripley's stasis chamber.
Right, so you can pull that off. You can pull that off, right?
Yeah, but you can't. It's crap. It's a really, really weak way of doing it.
I know, but I'm trying to make sense of this film because.
Well, glad somebody is.
Well, that's why they put Northerners in it. That's why they put fucking Northerners in it, so you don't think about it. I mean, for it to get, don't they have to attach themselves to your face to get
they can't
inside?
just hatch out. No, they need a incubator, a life form, and then they take in elements of that to obviously to reproduce. You know,
Well,
it's a very clever way of doing it.
So did that thing open up the suspended animation chamber, go on her face, and then close it again? So why wasn't there like the carcass of the thing in the suspended animation tube with her? Well, the debate.
No. What happens is, I mean, if she'd have been in suspended animation, we saw that her cryostasis chamber was cracked, and she was going like this, and obviously the alien face hugger must have implanted while she was unconscious.
Yeah, but it's got to get on your face to do it.
Yeah, but I think they indicated
She's in a big suspended animation tube.
I don't know, mate. It's because it's shite. It was a stupid idea. It wasn't well thought out. I mean, I don't know why they got. I'm sorry, they got all the actors involved with this. It wasn't well thought out. You know, I don't know why they went this direction. And I'm going to even say this: I actually preferred the fourth one. I know we're not review it today, but Resurrection was much better than the third one.
Because
anyway,
Resurrection.
That's a great idea. The cloning thing. It was really good.
They went in a very interesting way.
They did. I know. We're not about the fourth one, but the third one, it was a real. You know, I liked some of the elements I quite liked. The idea that Newt was like almost like Ripley thought of Newt as her daughter, and then Newt was killed off. Newt we didn't see get killed off. We saw an image of her dead body, and it was a different actress playing the girl, and I hate all that. You know. I just think that the idea of it just could have been done in a way which just would have been more satisfying. It wouldn't have cost them any more money. It's just the way that they did it. It just didn't work.
Did you care about any of the characters in it?
I didn't give a shit.
I did. You know, do you remember that scene when Charles Dance gets soaked up?
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, all right. And then they got Tetley Teabag, man. He got it, didn't he? You know, he got it. And then there were religious fella, and when they all tried getting into her knickers, and he defended, and then he got it. I mean, they all fucking got it, didn't they? You know.
Yeah, but the thing is, the problem is that first of all, it's Fury 161, not Fury 131. So this is Yorkshire 161.
Yeah, all right. Yeah, go.
the problem is that the only character that anybody would have cared about is Ripley. Now, I think Sigourney Weaver, for what she did in the movie, with what materials she had to work with, she did fine. She's still the hard, Ripley who's gone through so much, and now she's now in a situation with these other people. And I think that for what she's given, Sigourney Weaver is great. You can't fault Sigourney Weaver.
Oh yeah, I'm not knocking her.
She was great. The rest of the characters, you didn't give a toss if any of them died. You couldn't care. They were so horrible. They were murderers and rapists, and they were literally not the scum of the earth. They're the scum of the universe on this shithole planet in the middle of nowhere, Yorkshire 161. Who cares about any of them? I mean, and of course Ripley. Now, of course, there's two different takes of this movie. I've seen both. I don't know which one you prefer. The original one, you see Ripley at the end, where the xenomorph breaks out and she dies in the furnace, and that's the end of it. And the alien in that movie was a dog. The second version, it was a cow, or so it was like a farm animal or something. And in the end, you do not see the alien burst out of of her at the end. She just falls into the furnace, and that's the end of it. So, first of all, do you prefer the original one or the slightly updated?
I don't prefer any of them.
No, don't. Fine.
I honestly, I tried watching Alien³. I tried last week for this.
Oh, that's good of you. Thank you for that.
No, I did, and I lasted 25 minutes. On it now, fourth one, I could watch all night.
I could watch that one as well.
25 minutes, and I thought,
a lot of people hate that one, but the fourth one's good. But
the old film, it just don't make fucking sense. And then they're trying to get all melodramatic at the end, where she jumps into the molten
furnace thing. There's this
furnace thing.
Yeah, it was a furnace, wasn't it? Yeah, it was.
And she's like closing her arms like that, and she's going down,
like failing it like her child or something.
Yeah, and then there's Wayland, the claw him that looks like the android, going Ripley, and she's flying down.
You can do so much. It's like, oh.
What's the bloody point? It just they could have done so much for this film. All right, set it on a prison planet, Yorkshire, but Michael Baine's alive. He's alive. Nukes.
Why couldn't they have used Michael Biehn in a better way?
Well, they could have done.
He was
shocked. He thought he was going to be in it. He took him to court.
I didn't know that. It took really.
No, because when he found out, he thought that any sequel, because there was a planned sequel with him and her.
Okay.
It's been drafted. You can watch the scripts of it.
Right.
But they went with Prometheus instead. They pulled back on it.
Okay.
When it was set some years later, there was some story for it. It's quite interesting. Set on a space station. But it's like they killed him off, which, like, in the second movie, you absolutely cared about all these characters.
Oh yeah.
You cared about everybody.
The only thing about the second movie which annoys me is Newt screaming. She screams too much. That gets my nerves. But that's the only small concession.
Well, you can't have Newt getting eaten. I mean, you can't have poor Newt getting eaten, can you?
No. But then
again, that does get annoying, the screaming.
But again, the fact that with all that Newt went through in the second movie, just to have her killed in stasis at the beginning of episode 3, it really makes. I mean, do you think that Alien³ was so bad that in some ways it really tarnished the whole Alien franchise?
Yeah, I do.
No, I do.
I put it on last week. I thought, right, I'll prepare for this. I thought I'll watch it, put the time in, put the work in. I lasted 25 minutes. I did.
I'd love to see your face when you just sort of bollocks to this and you just turn it off.
I tried. I thought, right, I'll get this. Michael's going to be ready for next Tuesday. He'll no doubt be watching it at some point. I put it on. I made a cup of tea. I sat there. I lasted 25 minutes and switched it off. I could not be bothered with it. Look, I think the sets in the film are fantastic. The sets, the background, all that. I even love that planet.
I like the music. I think the musical score, it's got some lovely music in it.
Yeah.
and the visuals it's very dark, and it's supposed to be dark and dirty and grimy, and
it works.
yeah.
And
Oh,
it's
so
an
all right,
ex,
so what
it's
elements?
an ex-factory. It's now a prison, and it's the place you don't want to end up in, but they're there, and you've got an orange alien running about. It's like a dog. I mean,
And
there's
some of
there
these,
was a scene I saw running on all fours.
yeah, that's a puppet. It was a puppet,
Yeah,
and with
like a dog.
strings, which they superimposed on like a green
mean,
screen thing.
I mean, what if you said sit to it and it did? It's still got doggy DNA.
But I kind of thought that idea was quite interesting. The idea that it's instead of having a humanoid, it's actually come out of a dog, an animal, and it runs differently. It looks like that's clever. That idea is good.
I don't have a problem with that.
That's clever. I respect that.
As an alien creature, it will bond with anybody.
Yeah, and it's taken the DNA physicality of its donor, as it were. I think that bit is, that's good. So I think
I even like the scene where it attacks Ripley and stops
because he knows. I know. Yeah,
I love that. That was. Yeah, I know.
Do you think then that one of the main focuses on why it was considered the weaker of? I mean, I think to me, the way we're talking about it, the two aspects which really did it a disservice is the way it tried to link to Aliens so badly as a continuation, and also the unlikable group of Northerners as well. Who all right, convicts. Regardless of their nationalities or their actual location.
I mean, you're right. I mean, I didn't give a shit about any of them characters in that film. I think when they were all being knocked off one at a time, it were like, that's it. I've got no love for them. Even that when she had that sex scene with Charles Dance,
Oh yeah.
When she starts knocking him off in surgery, and next minute he gets dragged up into air. Yeah. I mean, there were no feelings to any of that for me.
No,
it was just pointless. It was all about Earth surviving. But I think they should have, because Michael Bay, he thought he was going to be in it, but they used his image in the film.
And apparently, didn't he?
I
heard about that. I did hear about that. Yeah, it was a tiny little image of his face. It was like green with sort of and it was his face. Yeah, it was his face. Yeah.
And he said he could never understand why he wanted it. It would have made sense. And then you say what undoes it is that how the fucking hell did it get on board? That you can, all right, we've tried to simplify it a way around it, but it still doesn't make any sense, does it?
No.
It shit one out when she were having a fight with it, but there were two, weren't there? Because there was one that got into the dog.
There's two.
So where did the second egg come from? That was in the life pod then? That was in the life pod with them.
Well, this is it. I mean, you need someone to lay the eggs, and if there was two, unless there was two face huggers, because obviously they come out of the egg, they run around, and they look for a host.
Yeah.
But then the only way that they could have come aboard is the shuttlecraft where Ripley, at the end of Aliens, she comes along and Bishop rescues her, and they go back to the Sulaco, but the Queen is hiding in one of the legs of the shuttle. If maybe she knocked two out. That doesn't sound right.
On the shuttle.
On the shuttle leg. In the shuttle leg.
That's the only way. But then again, how do the two aliens running about the ship?
Maybe they can sense heat and warmth of creatures or something.
Yeah,
maybe they got something.
We don't see the smudges on the floor. So the alien shit them out on the ship then, right?
So it lands on the hangar deck, and then they have to fight the alien queen and then once they go into stasis, the two aliens and this is always a bit of a stretch, in the leg of the shuttle, they come down. They scurry around. They sense the warmth of them in the stasis, even though they would be probably less warm because they'd be in stasis anyway. But anyway, they broke through. But then, if Ripley is infected by one of them,
The Queen.
Then a queen. Well, yeah, it'd be a queen face hugger DNA, which is put into her, which is, again is not really probably explained. Then the people on the Sulaco, then the ship is going to crash, and their stasis.
No. The ship is having electrical fires on board.
Yeah, which I assume was created by the alien, right? But then
it ejects.
But then the face hugger,
the sleeping modules. It ejects.
Yeah, but they are is a small sort of like escape pod which comes down. But then the second one must have also jumped onto the escape pod to be when it goes to the planet and then escapes and affects the dog.
Yeah, does
that sound? Isn't that a bit of a stretch?
But then you've got the other problem. How does it infect Ripley? Because it's got to get into your face. It's got to tie itself around your neck and put itself on your face.
We can only assume that because there was a small crack, which doesn't explain it, in the window pane of her stasis pod.
Yeah,
we have to assume that somehow a face hugger squeezed through that, got on her face while she's in stasis, infects her, then and then escapes, and then go on. What do you think then?
When it got on top of her stasis pod, part of the acid creates a small hole, and then it spits out the alien bit, and it went into her mouth. But then again, if her stasis tube is damaged, wouldn't there be like there's electrical fires going on?
What about if she obviously in Aliens?
Well, that's the only way.
No, but in Aliens, at some point she must have had a quarters or a bunker or something to sleep. What if somehow she got infected while she was asleep before the end of Aliens, and she was carrying it before all?
But then there's gonna be that fucking face thing, his body dead on floor because it can run away for a while before it goes because it dies off. It could have just scurried into a corner somewhere and then died off. Eventually it's got to leave that spider body thing to get inside and grow. They might have a short lifespan.
Well, no. What if in Aliens, right? They're obviously fighting the alien. There's scenes of the quarter, and so she's gone to sleep. A face hugger scurrying around, jumps onto her while she's asleep. I don't know what impregnates her in the mouth.
But Michael Baine's checking on her. I mean,
Michael Bain might have been, he might have been a bit constipated. He might have been in the toilet or something and not seen it. And and this is a series, right? In the later films, the actual incubation, the time that the face hugger's on her face, is really, really quick. In Prometheus, I think it's literally. Alien versus Predator. Literally, they could be on their face for minutes, and then they just go off, and they've actually got the DNA in it down the throat.
But it still doesn't explain how.
No, it doesn't. I'm just trying to find a credible reason to explain it, and I can't.
I can't. I think they've got part of it right with the bits of acid on the floor. But it still doesn't explain.
They wanted to make it vague so you didn't realise exactly what was going on. If they had made it very clear.
But that fucks up the entire franchise, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It fucks it up.
Yeah.
It has. A lot of people, I've had this argument with people for years, apart from the Northern thing. But you know what I mean? I mean, it's fucking insulting as it is anyway. But I mean, it don't really fucking explain how she gets impregnated by a fucking queen alien.
The reasoning of how it could have actually happened isn't clear. But like I said, although you're right, they were trying to make it vague, uncertain.
Yeah, but it's gonna fuck it all up, hasn't it? I mean, first to take out Michael Bain, which they shouldn't have done.
No.
Right, they should have paid him 10 million like they paid her. And brought Newt back.
Yeah.
They're trying to survive on this planet with all these murderers and rape and whatever. I'm not going to say Northern. I'm not saying right?
Yorkshire 161, yeah.
Yeah, right. They're trying to all like the worst criminals in the galaxy or whatever. And like that would have made a lot more sense, and you could have possibly got a decent film out of it.
I agree.
And they had a pulse rifle. He had some weapons. and he has to fight to protect her from them. They all get murdered. There's Ripley sets up a trap for it. Her and him, and they get it, destroy it, and then Wayland turns up, and somehow, I don't know, Ripley kills him, and they get away in the ship. They don't go back to Earth, they go somewhere else. Continues the saga. But instead, we got this absolute shite. I'm sorry, I've not seen it in over 10 years.
Oh, really? It's been that long? Oh, I've seen it more often
it.
now. I saw it about 2 or 3 years ago again.
Well, I lasted 25 minutes.
Yeah, that's pretty bad. That's pretty bad.
Yeah,
As a sci-fi fan that you are, that says a lot, doesn't it?
I watched Aliens about 6 weeks ago, and I watched the extended edition, and you know, I fucking loved every moment.
I think we reviewed that last year, didn't we? We have done Aliens. Yeah. Obviously, we've done the first 2 now. Now we've done 3 with this one.
Yeah.
But
this is it's just I know there's the Alien series coming.
This is interesting. I'm very interested in this because I thought it was a film, but now it's a TV series or something. I can't even keep up with it.
Yeah.
Oh,
I think it's going to Apple.
Oh well, that's great. I mean, Apple. I know they've got all the money, so they'll be able to make it a pretty.
Apple. I've got to say, Apple do seem to.
Yeah, For All Mankind, another one.
The best show, yeah.
And they do Foundation. They do that as well, don't they? Yeah.
Silo, all this other stuff. But it's Alien3 is just. I know there's a lot of people out there love the film. Fair enough, but to me, you got a marvelous sequel like Aliens. This should have been the next level.
Do you know that I was wondering?
It should have been that level.
Well, do you think that because it was so bad that they should have just finished the franchise with Aliens and that was it? Just made the first 2 and that's it.
Well, they did. That was the plan, wasn't it? When she sacrificed, I mean, in that awful scene where she jumps into metal making machine with all molten metal in it.
Cool, yeah.
Like let's take the death scene of Terminator 2. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And even that were over dramatic. But I will say the sets, the actors, and even the look of the alien, the concept, all that was all right. It's just the fucking story
and the unlikable characters and the very unlikable characters.
Yeah, the story. You didn't care about anybody. There's no investment in that film.
Nothing at all. Exactly.
There's no payoff. There's nothing. You know, it's. Do you know what I mean? And I went to cinema to see that. I was so excited about it. And I sat in that cinema and I sat there. I went to Odeon to see it. I sat there. Finally, I'm going to see Aliens 3 after 7 years. And I saw Soloco and Splodgy
for about 2 seconds.
And they got ejected.
Yeah,
and I thought, how the fucking hell did... The first thing that came to my head in cinema was, how did the fucking aliens get on board? And I watched the whole movie, and all my mind was going back to well, how did it get inside her? All through film, and I just sat there thinking that all the way through.
Where's and 31 years later, and we're still asking the question, and we haven't got the answer. What does that say about the movie?
Why did they put Northerners in it?
I don't know why. I mean, I don't know. I don't know why that was a factor either. I mean, it is quite a complicated thing.
Yes.
It doesn't make
no director. I know. It's like, instead of putting all usual stereotypes in, we'll put some Northerners in. You know what I mean?
It is a very, very bizarre film, and actually, now that we actually reviewed it again, it strikes me as even more bizarre now than it did before we started an hour ago. So I think that's. So I guess really we should wrap up with our score.
Yes.
What would you give it out of 10?
Yes.
What would you give it? Do you want to go to the score first?
I'm going to give it a 4.
I was going to give it a 5. So I think that's pretty similar. I'll give
all right, 4. No, 4. I'm sticking to 4.
Yeah, all right. I'm going to stick with I'll give it a 5 for the music, the idea of the alien.
Oh, music, top marks,
and also it's still an alien film, even though it's not a good alien film. I've got to give it a 5 because there are some aspects which are okay,
enjoyable. Yeah, there is. But I lasted 25 minutes when I watched it.
Yeah, it's just such a shame. But not straight away, but we will review the fourth movie, Alien Resurrection, which actually has some very, very interesting ideas that follows up from this movie.
Fantastic, loved it.
And one thing which we will say, which is very clever, is that the alien inside Ripley in this movie is featured in a very clever way in the fourth movie, and it's a very, very different movie, and I think it holds up very well. A lot of people loathe the fourth one. I don't.
Joss Whedon did the fourth, didn't he?
I don't know. I'll have to look it up before we review it.
I think it was Joss Whedon, yeah.
Okay.
Because I think it was, yeah. And he had. That's where Firefly came from.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Because
I've still not seen that. I've still not seen a Firefly yet.
No, but the crew of Renegades, where they're like pirateers and making money.
Yeah.
That I reckon he that's where Firefly based it on them.
Oh, okay. Okay, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So next week, do you want to review that first of the newer Planet of the Apes movies?
Yes.
All right, because obviously we talked about it earlier on, but I'd like to actually give those a review because I just think that is a good trilogy of recent movies.
Yes.
And I think we'll probably give it a higher score than 4 or 5. I think that's pretty likely. So, Martin, thank you very much. That's been a really good one. If you are from Yorkshire or Leeds or anybody anywhere up north, we are in a very respectful apologies for any upset caused. But in the end, I would go to David Fincher, who made this movie, who made somewhat stereotypical British men from, like I said, the Midlands northwards. And I still don't know why he did it, but it was an interesting movie. And don't know why it's there, don't know why it came about like that. But that's what it is. That it's there. You can't erase it from time, even though probably you would, Martin, if you had the chance. All right, Martin, we're going to finish off there.
I'd just like to say to all my brothers and sisters, we're marching on Portsmouth tomorrow. We know where he lives. We're going to be outside your door with placards.
I would have loved it if they've had some. What about if they had some cockneys, right? Oh, mate. Oh, God, go down the old battle cruiser. I've got to see this alien, mate. He's really getting on my bloody nerves, mate. All right, let's give him duff him up. It's like, what are they like? It could have been like Alvida St. Pet, Alien 3, Alien V the Same Pet, and you could have, and you already have Moxie there. You could have had like a Scouse. You could have had a Brummy. You could have made it kind of like, why I'm man is an alien man. It's like it could have been really quite funny. You know what I mean?
Can you imagine Oz knocking the Queen out? Bollocks!
Bollocks, man.
The Queen,
I'd love to see that. Oh man, I'd say David Fincher should have watched Out Be the Same Pet before making that movie.
Yes.
Right, so we're going to finish with I came across this. This was from 1993. It was a public access video. It was these two Star Trek fans. This is obviously before the internet that we would have now on YouTube. And they get some calls from people mucking about with them. This guy is a big Star Trek fan and not a Star Wars fan. And this guy keeps ringing them up and talking about Star Wars and winding him up. And it's just quite funny. My weird sense of humour, so I'm going to share it this week. Martin, thank you very much. This has been a really fun show. And we'll catch you next week on the Solar One Sci-Fi Podcast. Live long and prosper.
Live long and prosper.
Good evening. Welcome to 10 Forward. Where are you calling from?
I'm calling from Pickering.
Great. Do you have a question or comment for us?
Yeah, I was just wondering, I'm having a Star Trek and Star Wars party.
Yep.
We're all going to dress up as characters.
Right.
And my friend Chuck, he's going to dress up as a Romulan.
Right.
And I'm going to be Captain Picard.
Okay.
And do you want to come? Because you could be a Star Wars character.
Oh, no, I don't want to be a Star Wars character. No, maybe Sue would like to be a Star Wars. No, I don't want to be a Star Wars character. No.
We're not a very political bunch, are we?
We mustn't be.
No.
No. Politics, who needs it? Let's take another call. Good evening. Welcome to 10 Forward. Where are you calling from?
I'm calling from Pickering.
Okay. Do you have a question or comment for us?
First I'd like to say hi to my friends Dave and Star Wars Party Pals.
All right.
And I was wondering, you know Jabba the Hutt?
I believe that we do, yes.
The Jedi, yeah. I was told that it takes like 16 people to control him.
That's right. It's a huge puppet, and they have both human operators and they have computer operators.
Animatronics.
Yep, and so they have someone moving the tail and someone moving the mouth and the eyes, and it's really quite an intricate thing and quite something to shoot because we'll get a chance to see that sort of stuff in the new Star Wars. You know. Yeah.
I have one last thing to say.
Okay.
Can you like strip naked and dance around like a fucking?
Well, probably on a holodeck.
Not without the right pay, of course.
Of course, absolutely. That sounds like a Deep Space Nine sort of thing. Well, that's a whole other story on its own.
And into the wormhole with that.
Into the wormhole, yes.
Is it just me, or are there fewer active brain cells in the universe?
I think there are. As a matter of fact, you know, I was going to say something about elections there. It's sort of all tied together. Good evening. Welcome to 10 Forward. Where are you calling from?
I'm calling from Pickering.
Okay, do you have a quick question for us?
No, I have a comment.
Okay.
I'd just like to say that the show's really great, and I've been watching it for a while. And
Thanks very much.
I don't really like the people calling in and make fun of you.
Well, thank you so much.
Well,
we don't like that either.
No, I can live with people making fun of me. Everyone has a right to an opinion. What I can't deal with is the small-minded morons who only can think of four-letter words.
Okay, thanks very much for your call. Okay. Boy, you know, those brain cells are just flying out of here like you can't believe.
Sucked into those black holes.
I don't know. Get a life. Get a job. Grow a spine, buddy.
Anything.
Okay. We're going to, and this person is a grand prize winner of...
A pass for one to Primedia in October.
Congratulations, you've won your pass to Primedia.
Hello?
Hi, you've won a pass to Primedia in October.
Yeah!
All right.
A
how
happy
exciting.
winner.
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, do you have a question or comment for us?
I do actually.
Okay, make it real fast.
Okay, I have a little poem. Okay,
Uh-oh.
I'd like to say that Star Trek is great,
Uh-huh.
but Sequest sucks.
Yeah.
Sue has been a great addition, and you're a
Oh, I caught
That
you!
doesn't rhyme.
Well, as a matter of fact, you know what? You lost your Primedia thing. So there you go. You lose. You are a loser, bud. You are. You are a loser to the nth degree, I might add. So now we still have two passes to
We
give
still
away
have two passes to give away.
because some weenoid tried to get something
Oh,
bad in.
profanity not required.
Oh yeah, you know, hello. Wake up and smell the Java, buddy. Okay, which line that we were on, but that's okay. I think we'll take this one. Good evening. Welcome to 10 Forward. Where are you calling from?
From Scarborough.
Okay, how would you like to win a Primedia pass?
Oh, I love it.
Well,
You've done so.
there you go. See how easy that is?
Terrific.
Okay, do you have a question or comment for us?
Yeah, I have a question.
Okay.
Do you think that the television sitcom Different Strokes will ever be revived in the near future?
They're all in jail. I don't see how that can happen. Yikes.
Really?
Okay, we have no comment. Or, well, maybe not. Maybe a question. Do you have a question or comment for us?
Yeah.
Okay, well, go away.
Not
Fire away, I meant. Well, we don't want to say go away. Okay, question or comment? Oh, no, I guess he didn't have a question or comment. Well,
He's a book reader. He's
I
a
could
book
sense
reader.
that one coming from 100 miles away.
He wanted us to read a book.
Go away. Boy, did I have it. Get a job, bud. Okay.